As that white light flows in, tell me if there's anything else that stands out to you.
Pressure at the solar plex now.
Okay, very good. And so that solar plexus pressure, as we connect with that pressure, if that pressure could speak with us, what would it say?
I just see it's green and I see it says poor, poor. I'm poor.
Mm. And this energy, this green energy that says it's poor, is this a male or a female energy?
It's female.
Mm-hmm. And this female energy, does it have a name?
Lie, something lie, lie,
Lai?
lie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lai, tell me how old you are.
9.
Mm-hmm. Lai, I want you to think back. I want you to travel back through time and space, back to that very last day that you were alive. And as you travel back to that very last day, tell me what happened to you on that day that caused you to lose your body.
I fell. I fell.
How did you
Maybe
fall?
I fell from the bed.
Mm. You fell from the bed. What part of your body did you hit as you fell?
My head.
Mm-hmm. And is that what ended your life? Was that the head hitting the floor?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Allow yourself to move to the very last moment in that life, just taking your very last breath in that body and allowing your soul to come up and out of the body. And as you do, you can look back over that scene and you'll understand exactly what happened to you. Tell me what you see.
I fell from the bed and my head laying on the floor. And it's a bed just like her own. She she fell from the bed. She was jumping on the bed too. I jumped on the bed. I fell and down to the ground and hit my head.
Mm,
And I saw her. She fell too. She fell from the bed. She was jumping on the bed that's not supposed to be jumping on. And she broke her elbow. It was, and her mom took her to this monk to, it was the joint was displaced. Her joint was displaced at the same time. And that's how I found her.
mm. That's how you were able to attach to her was,
She was scared. She was scared of getting in trouble. She wasn't scared of the pain, but she was scared. She was in pain and but scared of being in trouble because she wasn't supposed to jump on that bed.
I see. And so, as you've been there with her, as you've been attached with her, what kind of issues have you been causing for her?
If my parents had money to take me to the doctor, I would have been saved. But because we were poor, so my parents can't afford to help me. So at the time, all I can hear is I'm poor. So I passed that on to her. So she's been holding that energy. So the lack of abundance, the doubt that she can create wealth and create the life that she wanted and be abundant. Always feel the lack. That was for me. 'Cause I'm poor. So I make her feel the same.
So, Lai, I want to bring in some healing for you today. And I'm going to call all of my beautiful angels in and ask them to surround you. And they're going to begin to bring in the healing frequencies and energies you need. First, to begin to repair any damage that you received to that head. They're just going to flow that energy in, and it's going to make it as if you never hit the floor and you never had that experience. And then we're also going to bring in the frequencies of abundance. We're going to flow that energy in so that you begin to feel what it feels like to be completely abundant. And Lai, I want you to think about that scene, that final scene where your parents were too poor to be able to help you. We're going to pour that beautiful, powerful white light over that scene, over your parents, over your home, and over you. And I want you to watch that scene begin to transform into one where your parents had all of the resources that they needed to get you to the doctor and to get the help that you need. And as you see that scene transform, tell me what you notice, what you feel, what you sense. Tell me what happens to you.
I'm not hurt anymore. I feel good. And I'm not sad anymore.
And I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to just help you to understand why it was that you experienced that lifetime and what you need to know or understand about it. Tell me what he says.
You were there to support your parents. As a support, you play a support role because they feel lack in themselves too, that they're stuck. But because they weren't able to help you because of their lack, due to their belief that they are poor, and they pass it on to you. They were not able to help you and just give up. So you play in that lifetime a role, a support role for your parents. After you pass away, they feel the guilt, but they have a new determination to strive in life and be more abundant. If any of that ever happened to one of their kids, they are more prepared financially and otherwise, and would be able to step in and help them. So all was in divine plan, and they will be grateful when they learn what you have done for them.
Very good. And so, Lai, I want you to look around and see if you notice that light of source. Tell me when you see it.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Is there waiting for you today?
My grandmother, and she just holding out her arms.
What does she say to you?
She's not saying anything, but I know she wants to hold me.
Are you ready to be with your grandmother again?
Yes.
Very good. So What I want you to do is to begin to pull all of your energy out of the body, out of the solar plexus. Michael will assist you, bringing in some energies and light to help you fully release. Lai, I want you to disconnect all of your energy from any energy centers that you're attached to. Pulling all that energy up and out of the body. Tell me when you've completely disconnected.
It's all out.
Very good. Lai, would you like to say anything before you go?
Thank you.
Very good. Van, can you forgive the soul for being attached to you?
Of course. I love you. I love you.
I'm going to ask the archangels to assist this beautiful being back into the light with her grandmother. We send you with so much love. Let's bring in a healing energy for that solar plexus. What color are we going to use?
Oh, brilliant, brilliant gold and yellow
Mm-hmm.
and green.
Very good. Let's begin to channel in the brilliant golden yellow mixed with that beautiful, vibrant green. Just bringing those energies into that solar plexus, expanding that out, clearing out any residual energies left behind by the soul. Michael will cut all cords and connections. And as we bring in these beautiful frequencies of green and that bright, vibrant, brilliant golden yellow, we're also going to set the intention of bringing in all of the inner empowerment that Van needs, releasing all of those beliefs around being in lack, not having enough. And we're going to flow in the energies and the frequencies of abundance, abundance in all areas in her life, the ability to know that she deserves anything and everything that she wants and that she wants to create. And now that we've cleared this energy, it's going to come to her much easier in this life. Tell me how that solar plexus feels now.
Strong and clear and empty.
Very good. Very good. So let's check on the soreness that she's been feeling at the lower back and hip. Is that connected to any of the energies, the entities that we've removed today? Or is there something else going on in that area?
It's all clear.
Okay. So will that soreness go away after this session? Have we released what we need to release?
We have.
Okay. Very good. And there's also a mass at the base of her spine that she feels like may be connected to her sacral energy center. Is that mass connected to any of these energies that we've removed, or is there something else causing that?
Yeah, it's something that is passing down from her maternal side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She said she felt like it may be related to her mother's womb. Is there a connection there?
It's it's when she decided to come in, when she was in there, it felt too rigid, too tight. And she almost changed her mind. So she felt strongly the disconnection from source when she came out. It was there before she was out of the womb. It's almost like something there to keep her there instead of changing her mind. And she said, I just go with it. and I'll find another way to just fill that void. So she stayed.
And so, is that mass anything that we can release or heal for her? Or is meant to stay there?
Physically, she will might, it will might just stay. It will not dissolve. But energetically, I see
Mm-hmm.
transmute with white light.
Very good. Let's bring in that white light right there into that mass. I'm going to ask the angels and guides that are with us today to begin to bring in the healing energies and frequencies needed to begin to transmute the energy connected to this mass and anything connected to the sacral, especially connected to her mother and the experience that she had before birth. Tell me when that energy is transmuted.
I'm just seeing just a ball of white light, and it just disperse into like a bunch of fireflies.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
It's done.
Very good. Before I move on to the rest of her questions, is there anything else within the body that we need to look at today or any additional healing that's needed?
Oh, I think she's good.
Beautiful. And so in her first session, we worked a little bit. There were some things that came up about the experience when she was a child being in that refugee camp. Any other energies that need to be released around that today, or any additional understanding that she needs about that experience?
That will, the healing will come in layers. So as it come up, she would know when to have that feeling, and she'll work with it. Yeah, it's just a lot of layers to it. So when it's time, it'll come up for her and she will know.
Very good. And so she also has a fear of rats, and she feels like that's connected to that experience. Is that where that comes from, or are there other past lives where she's had that fear as well?
I see past. So
Past.
probably past life. Maybe all I see is past.
Okay. So maybe it comes
Past
from
life.
other lifetimes and it's affecting you in this one.
Yes.
So let's ask the higher self if there's any way that you can transmute any of that energy so that that's not quite so strong for her.
It's something will have to journey there, and maybe she'll better understand. So until then, um, we won't get to that.
Okay. Should we save that one for another time?
If whenever that time comes, then yeah, she'll need to see it.
Okay. Should we take a look at it in today's session, or would you like us to wait till the next one?
I see. Yes. So,
Yes, to go ahead and looking at it today.
mm,
So let's do that. Let's drift and float through time and space, drifting and floating through time and space back to the very first time that you felt that fear around those rats, that lifetime where this emotional energy was created. Be there now. Tell me what was happening in that life. And just know that you can simply observe. You don't have to feel any feelings or sensations.
See a lot of rats,
Mm-hmm.
rodents.
Where are you when you see all these rats and rodents?
It's like a haunted house, maybe a house
Mm-hmm.
somewhere near a beach or an ocean.
Are you in this house by yourself, or are there other people there with you?
It's like I'm by myself. I do see like a man, but his back is turned to me. His
Mm.
back is turned the other way, so I only see his back.
Do you feel male or
My
female in this
I
place?
feel I feel female, maybe a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I see like white, like white speck of light, and maybe I see that as ghosts.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel like there's spirits in this house as you connect in with the scene?
Yeah, they're just there.
Do you feel like you have the ability to see those spirits in this lifetime?
No,
You just see them now.
I just see like orb. They're like white orbs.
And so, what is it that happened in this lifetime that created this fear around rats and rodents? Tell me what caused that.
Feels like the orbs were the one that were sending all. It's like a whole lot of. It's like an army of rats coming out through the walls at
Hmm.
me,
Were
and I
these,
was
go ahead.
I was scared. I was scared when all they all came. They startled me and scared me, and I thought I was gonna be hurt.
Were these real rats or were these like
I don't know. I
spirit
just see
rats?
them. I don't know. I just see like rats,
Mm-hmm.
just like a whole, but they look like real rats. But it's like I feel a scratch. I feel scratches
Mm-hmm.
on me. So when they come, I thought they were just gonna crush me because there's so many of them. That was my fear.
Yeah. And so allow yourself to move forward a little bit in this scene and tell me what happens next. What do you see?
I was okay. They just disappeared. Then I saw this a little earlier, but they the orbs told me they were just playing. They were just playing with me and letting the rats out. It was meant just to be a playful thing, but it scared me.
Hmm. Allow yourself to speak to these orbs and tell them how that made you feel.
Scared me. Scared me a lot. I thought I was going to be hurt. I don't know. I just thought they were going to hurt me. I don't know how, but I thought I was going to hurt me. And so many of them, I'm so little, I would be crushed.
What do these orbs say back to you?
I'm sorry, sweetheart. We didn't know it was going to scare you. These rats, they're good. They can't hurt you. They only come out because we send them to you. We're sorry.
So I just want you to allow yourself to see these rats in a different perspective. Just to see as they come into your space. They're fluffy and they're glowing and they're kind. And They don't touch you or scratch you. They simply just fill up the space in a joyful, gentle way, just bringing in the white light and completely cleansing the space and helping you to release any fear around these animals, knowing that they're just simply there to be with you. Tell me how that feels now when you look at these animals in your space.
I'm not as grossed out anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe like looking at Chewie.
Very good. Very good. And so now that you understand that that was not intended to cause fear and that you will not be harmed by these animals, just bring that beautiful white light all the way through the body with the intention of releasing any residual fear around that experience, knowing that you are safe and that you will always be safe. And they are simply just animals and nothing more. Tell me how that feels or what you notice.
Thank you. That's much better way
Very
of
good.
seeing it.
Just see them as like little fluffy bunny rats. Very good. Very good. Okay, so she's got a question about a lifetime that she was shown in another session about being it's a Lemuria lifetime that she was a healer, that she can channel volcanic lava energy for healing. Is this true? And if so, what does she need to know about that lifetime?
It's true. That's why we're bringing her Andaras. She was kind of wonder why she's working with Andara now, because it's related to the elements at one of the volcanoes. And in the fire of the volcano, the heat, it turns them into that crystal, turn them into crystal called Andara. And that's why we've been bringing them to her. She'll learn to work with them. She was almost afraid of what they can do, but she'll learn and we'll help her.
So, anything that she needs to know or to work on to have this gift of being able to channel this energy to come back online and be integrated so that she can use it to serve humanity.
The exact process of channeling the energy of the lava will gradually come to her when all her gifts are online. At this point, we want her to just work with the Andaras and really feel them and work with them. By the time she mastered working with the Andaras, this gift will be reactivated for her. And at that time, the energy of the earth and the energy of humanity will be able to handle such gift and energy from her. Right now, in this timeline, there will be very few that would able to resonate with energy from her healing through this process. So we're bringing the Andaras to you gradually, one by one, so that you learn and understand and feel and sense their energy and figure out and master how to work with them, because it's a similar energy to the lava energy. so you can warm up to that while we are working for humanity to reach the vibration where they are open to receive such healing, such energy for their healing. She's asking how long. In Earth years, it will be a long, long time. We're talking about more than 10 years. So it'll be a very long time.
We're not ready for that energy yet, are we?
There are exceptional field that have, there's a few of you that have reached that vibration and they will resonate with it, but it's very few.
I see. So at the beginning of the session, now we removed quite a bit of entities, earthbound souls, but there were quite a few entities that were placed there for the purpose of holding her back, keeping her from seeing and tapping into her gifts. And there were a few that said she's very, very powerful. What can you tell her about these powerful gifts and abilities? What does she need to know?
She embodies unconditional love and empowerment. So she's asking now if she just put her logical mind just put that in her mouth.
I'm going to say that it didn't.
You got it from somewhere. You got it from us.
You're always connected. Just allow that information to flow.
You are us. So just allow.
Yes.
She empowers unconditional love and empowerment for her healing and for healing of others. She finally lined up with her mission and what she was meant to do here. But she had wanted to experience more. And also that's part of the preparation we put in place and she put in place to get to this point. So when she found quantum healing hypnosis, that was her hint. But now she is assured and know that's what it is. We need for her to continue with these modalities, help herself and help others, clear humanity, clear souls of these blockages, these entities that they have no idea that are there. But it's like she'll initiate or at least remind them in just by being her. She doesn't really have to do it, just by being her and through this modality, they'll be reminded of who they really are and help them access and align to that highest vibration, to that highest version and the divine expression of themselves. But they have to clear all these blockages, all these beliefs that are not true because of the interference of these dark forces. In many cases, don't know any better, but they impact each and every one of you. So that needs to be healed so that you become clear vessel to be able to connect back to yourself. That is her mission. She heals herself and help others. It begins with this modality that she has found now, but there will be other, she will incorporate other just an ability and modality to do this and help them. But as her gifts come online, she'll be able to just see clearly, hear clearly, and we sound sarcastic, but yes. And all of those, she'll be able to spot any discordant energy that does not belong and does not serve. So as any being come to her, the human beings come to her, when they are open to receive the healing, she will help them. Just like you, Heather, you are very powerful. Actually, you don't know how powerful you are. Much more powerful than you are, and you know, and you are doing the same work. And as a result, humanity will reach that point where dark force entities, attachment becomes very obvious that it will not work to just attach to any of you anymore. Then we learn to be in a higher vibration most of the time. Then through being healed and being empowered that they are so much more than they are, they'll be empowered to create the life that they want, the future that they can envision and know that they can, and come into embodying that highest divine version of themselves, the highest divine expression of themselves, and serve each other. And so, all for source and for all.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for all of that beautiful information. So, while we're talking about this beautiful modality of quantum healing hypnosis, and she's making her way into doing this work, do you have any guidance for her that will help her move into this work, that will help her be confident and be in alignment with what she needs to do with her clients? What does she need to know?
You are aligned to that timeline as a healer. I know you don't want to see yourself as a healer. You just want to help and empower. But in this earth form, we'll just call you healer. So just accept it. Allow it. There's no title. When you do, allow, just allow. Michael have told you over and over again, you have it. You got it. You got this. You have everything you needed. You just do it. When you have the experience, you will see that all you have to do is allow. So far, you've been seeing that it's much more in your intuition because your team is there. And if you notice, you seem to be in a trance and kind of know what to do. It's in you. That is why. So don't be in your head and try to figure out a system and make sure everything is in control. And step 1, step 2, step 3, it doesn't work that way, as you can see. You have to weave in and out. So you have to let your intuition, allow your intuition to come alive, because you already know your team is a part of it. And it's like you're not asking this archangel to help you with certain things or this guy to work with certain things. You don't have to do that. We'll all know what to do or what needs to unfold. So just allow. It's more of intuition, what you do. So allow, allowed, and allow your own intuition to flow because you already know. Don't think, just like you always say, the mind think. The mind thinks, but the heart knows. It's all in your heart. That's your energy. It's your heart energy. It's all in there. Have you noticed sometimes when you're in meditation or when you're healing yourself, you always start with that spark of light from your heart. And then it just gets bigger and bigger and just emanate until it's so big. It covers this whole world, this whole earth and beyond. That is why it is in your heart. Make your heart the first place to tune in, and then everything else follow. The nervousness, it'll be there at the beginning. And every single time it's new. Every client, everyone that comes to you, it's a completely different experience. Just allow. Don't get too far, too deep into diagnosing the issue. You kind of have an idea, and that's okay. Sometimes you ask too many questions about one thing, but that's just part of it. But just know you don't have to ask that many questions. Just have a sense of what this may be. If you want to douse it a little bit, just to assure yourself, because when you're dousing, you're actually connecting to your higher self. It is your energy if you want to do that, but there's no need. Just for the beginning, when you want that assurance, you can do that. But allow whatever is meant to unfold to unfold. Don't predict it because you will always be wrong. You will always be wrong every single time. So let it go and allow. But what's good is you've been making intention to allow whatever unfold to be for the highest good of your clients. Whatever it is they need will unfold perfectly. And that is a good priority to have for each session you start. And that's really all you need. As you continue on this path, your gifts will strengthen. So it doesn't make it easier, but again, it's still tuning into yourself and allow the flow. I think enough said.
That was beautiful. Thank you for all of that information. And so you've answered this a few times now, but since she has this on her sheet, she does want all of these beautiful claircognizance and clairvoyance and clairaudience, all of those gifts to come online. And it sounds like they'll come online in time, but is there anything that she can do to begin to strengthen those gifts and abilities now?
As you continue, I know the dowsing that you have been doing, that's perfect because you actually connect directly to me and your guys and your team. So it is you. I don't want to say your higher self, your guy, because it feels like a separation. But we are all you. we're just you. So just think it is you. It carries your energy. You already know that. So that is another way for you to enhance the connection and have a real conversation with us. You're focused on a lot on yes and no, and you're starting to see, like, your daughter asked how many cards because she wants to pull some cards for you, and she in her guidance know that you need to pick four, but then in your mind's eye you saw the word four spelled out for you, FOUR. That's just, that's all you need right now, and that's good enough. So as it strengthens you get more, but all your gifts are online, and it will come more obvious to you as you're working with your clients and as you're practicing and working with the pendulum also clarify things for you. Of course, that's a little more work than just, be in meditation and just tuning into us, because you have to create so many charts if you want a specific answer and all of that. So it's a tool. Dowsing is a tool, but nothing beats connecting directly to us in your meditation and in every moment, and you do. So you're on the right track.
Very good. Very good. And she just wanted to see if she could have more light in her third eye, making sure it's clear and crisp. I know we removed some stuff from that area in the beginning, but can you check the third eye and see if there's any blocks or any energies we need to bring in for her today?
It looks like that energy was there. It's what's clouding whatever she's seeing. So everything is just very blurry and nothing is clear.
Mm-hmm.
So as the healing integrates, then we'll see some improvement.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And anything that you can bring in for her today would be beautiful. She's been also working on another modality of learning how to access the Akashic records. And she was wanting to know if this teacher that she's been working with is in alignment with her path, or what does she need to know about this teacher and this modality?
Yes, that is how she will access the Akashic record, and that is the right teacher for her.
Mm-hmm.
However, that teacher is only offering just the beginning um, level at this time. So she will need more training to do what she wants to do. Is that karma clearing and so realignment? It would that would be almost it's similar to your quantum healing hypnosis now, but without having to put a client into uh, a trance or into theta in hypnosis in order to access it, because you yourself as the facilitator is accessing the Akashic record for them. At first she feels that if she is doing it for them, it's not as empowering as when during the hypnosis session where the client is actually empowered to heal themselves. You can release that resistance about it, because for those who will come to you for the karmic clearing and soul realignment, it's preparing themselves for that next stage, which is to come to you, to want more for their life, and to create the life they want and desire and deserve, to be their full potential, the fullest, the highest expression of themselves. And so that next level after the clearing and the soul realignment is, you would be almost like a coach. The the closest comparison we can use right now would be, you know how you have these law of attraction coaches?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you are actually guiding and coaching them, and they're also a part of it. They do the work, you just help them see if there is any energy adjustment, that means changes they need to make physically, energetically, and otherwise to bring that to fruition. And also, whatever that goal is that they want to accomplish is actually in alignment with them and their purpose, not just because you want something, then you're going to achieve it that way, because it might not be aligned to you. Maybe you want a big, beautiful house, boats, and all of that, and all the wealth, but that's not why you were here. You will always have abundance and what you need, but maybe that is not your purpose. Your purpose may be for something else. Maybe you sing, or your music, or your art, and maybe those things don't bring as much money as all these people, you know, that are famous and with a lot of money that they don't know what to do with and end up destroying their life. That might not be aligned with you. So with the Akash, when you're accessing the Akash record, you can see their soul profile compared to what they want to accomplish. If it matches your life mission or your purpose for this lifetime, then you compare that and see if it actually aligns with what you want to do. Because if it's not aligned, you have a big, huge gap. No matter what energetic adjustment you have or changes you make, it will not be aligned. And so you frustrate yourself wanting something that you weren't aligned to in the first place. Not to say that you cannot create whatever you want, because if you thought of it, usually it's something you have already created. Because you have thought about that desire, that means you have already created. And so the momentum is there and it's already done. And you will have to just come in alignment to that vibration so you can match up with it, and it becomes manifested in your physical reality. So if you want something, to accomplish something, and it's really not your heart soul desire, that means it's something, a divine desire that is for the good, or the good of all, but just to have so that you be like the Joneses or someone else that has power or money. So it's actually a little harder when you're not aligned to it. If it's not coming from your heart. And when we say soul, in the Akashic record, your soul, and then in the physical, we say heart. It matches what your heart desires. And once that's in alignment, then in the future success, or you call it manifestation session, you see that, oh, that is aligned to your divine blueprint, then, or any modification you want to add to it or create something new, then it's there. And then you will be able to know where you are, the energetic profile of where you are now, and any adjustment you need to be, the energy of where you are and the energy of where you need to be, if there is gaps. And so you have to make adjustment so that they line up. So in the with the coaching, you see it energetically, but then you have to translate into the physical action to make it, bring it into fruition and manifest it. And that's why. And as they are going through this with the first, the karma clearing and the soul realignment, and then gradually get to the point where they're clear enough to say, I want to create something in my life. And they can do that easily because you have already taken care of any blocks, any clearing, any attachment, any infringement that is blocking them or in their way of manifesting and bring to life in the physical the life, the goals, the dream that they desire for themselves, for their good, and for the highest good of all. So that's what it is. But so to answer the question, yes, she found the the right teacher. Right now, the level that she's teaching, it's only to see your profile, but not much than that. But then advanced gifts still need to be a lot stronger in order to be able to do it without any other tool other than her intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So for the next few years, she has to focus on the quantum healing hypnosis and help as much as possible, empower as much as possible. She's thinking that, oh, because in a session there's so much hours that go by before I can make the impact. Maybe if it's shorter a session, because some of these Akasha record session, they're shorter, like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So then she said, oh, I can double the impact if I can do it that way. But just chill out. Just chill out. One, if you make an impact on one, that is plenty. Just allow.
Very good. Thank you for that information. So she wants to know, she had an experience around 3 a.m. one night when she felt like she was connecting with some beings, possibly Pleiadians, and then her arm went numb. And so she started to question whether or not she was connected to positive or negative beings. What can you tell her about that experience?
Because the path that she is supposed to be on and she was about to step into, we needed to allow the experience so that she understand discernment, that everything you connect to, there's dark, there's light, we're all one. We don't, it's, but when you're connecting to the dark, you open yourself up to so many things. In her case, it was going to be something that would keep her, it would have her pass on false information. So if that was to continue and she did not catch it, she would have received false information. And many of your channelers have forgotten to use their discernment, have stopped their discernment because they've been channeling for a long time and maybe with one being. So they stop doing their checks or use that discernment, say, hey, am I still connecting to the same one? And they assume they're connecting to the same being. And so the false information come through, but since they assume, so most of the channels actually also broadcast what they receive in the channeling, and that would not be positive outcome for humanity because you are working with false information. So we needed her to understand that, and also to point out to her, because of her empowerment frequency, she needed to empower without influence, infringement, and discordant energy. So that would be the same as passing out, passing around, passing on false information, false messages that do harm. So we allowed her this experience, and because we knew that she was sensitive, so she paid attention to her body. So when she knew that her arm went numb, she doesn't know what it feels like to connect to a false entity or false light or negative entity. So we needed her to have her body give her the signal, and she recognized that her arms went numb. She did not know at the time because they lied to her that that was just a signal of knowing. That's a sign that she know that she is connecting to them, but they did not tell her that she was connecting to a false light.
Mm.
So we want her to recognize the sensation in her body and tune into her body should that ever happen. So when she connects to us, she knows what it feels like. But what the false entity did was they duplicate that sensation when she connects to it, which is her crown would feel like buzzing, electricity buzzing on her head, but she didn't have that. And her heart would just be overfilled. Her heart would just be overwhelmed with love. But they duplicate that sensation in the heart for her to just feel a little overwhelmed with love. So thinking that it was a positive being that she was connecting to, something that was more than love. But that time, she was actually connecting to something less than love. So with that experience, we guided her to get her remotes. It's called, it's just, they remotely, I can't think of the word now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's remote spirit removal.
Releasement.
Yeah, releasement.
Mm-hmm.
It's called RSR.
Yes.
And so Van was not connected to, Van didn't know about Tina. Tina and
Mm-hmm.
Karen
Karen.
were not in her mind, or it, she doesn't even watch the video and none of those things.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that she ever had was maybe a year before that, or even longer. She saw the technical setup before she was doing the session with you. So she wanted to see kind of like the setup, and they had the funny video with it, and that's all she remembered.
Mm.
So they were completely out of her mind. But when we led her to them, she did not know there was such a thing as RSR, and she didn't know what it was, so she had to look it up, and she ended up with a session with them so that we can help her release whatever that they had placed in there for her, was a portal on her crown, and um, a block in her third eye, and just like a false shield, so that what she see is not clear and she can't see the truth.
Mm.
And whatever that, so that it blocks her from seeing the truth, so she won't be able to compare the divine truth, love, and light with the false information that they're giving her, because then she would question, because they want her to be able to just receive the false information and pass it along. But they did not know that Van is one of those people, if she receives something, she will question it a lot and just analyze before she shared. So she checks it out first before she just shared, and shared widely with anybody. So they actually chosen the wrong candidate to do that.
Wrong person.
Yeah. But and so whatever she received, she did not pass it on. She held it. So when she saw
Very
this,
good.
yeah. So they show her in her sleep before she woke up that all this Pleiadian, because um, we want to point out that that was one of her weakness, because she started to wonder where she came from and her soul origin. We still
Mm-hmm.
haven't told her clearly where she's from,
Would you
because
like to tell her that today? Is she
we
ready to
didn't
hear
tell her.
that?
No, not exactly, but she has an idea. So
Okay.
we'll um, at a different time
Save it for
we will.
another
Yeah,
save it for another time.
yeah, we'll just make it clear for her another time.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so her final question is she had an experience with a puppy that came into her reality and then just mysteriously disappeared. And she just wants to know what was the purpose of that connection.
We'll give only a very brief answer for that right now. Uh, she was able to understand what it means what it means to say unconditional love. When she looked into that puppy's eyes, she was lost, because she was filled with unconditional love and she couldn't help herself. So she already understands, but we'll tell her now that we wanted her to see these dark force entities that she'll be working with and releasing. They are also from source. They are also from love. So to approach them, the unconditional love, unlike what she perceived them at first when she connected the false entity. She was very angry at them that they tricked her because she was naive. So we want her to understand from that is the unconditional love. She didn't have a relationship with dogs really, but we slowly kind of eased her in to the part where she ended up with that white puppy that day, so that their eyes would meet and she's able to feel what unconditional love is. There's just no barrier. It's just all there. It's just all there, and there's nothing else matter. And we want her to embody that and also bring it in when she is working with a dark force entity, because they are also serving source. Without them, we have no push, no catalyst to make the change that we need to make to bring the rest of humanity to a higher vibration. And that's what we want her to understand from it. I know she wants to connect to Chewy and hear what he wants to say, but right now is not the time.
Not the time. Does he have any messages that he wants to pass on to her?
Just love. Just love.
That's all you need, isn't it?
But in time, he will probably reveal. In time, she will learn what happened that day and what transpired and where he came from and why he disappeared mysteriously. With time, it'll come if that's what she really needs to know. But right now, what's relevant is what we want her to understand about the connection between that puppy she called Chewy and relating to the dark force entity with unconditional love. If she can unconditionally love that puppy, she can also do the same for the dark force entity. They are also serving source.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all that information. So before I bring her back, are there any final messages, anything else that you'd like to share with her today?
Thank you, Heather.
You're so welcome.
We are so proud of you. We are very proud of you as Van.
Thank you. I'm very proud of her, and I'm very excited to see where her journey takes her.